Hi, welcome to episode 7 of my tutorial vanilla playthrough. So, between this episode and the last episode, I finished the assembling straight for the green circuits. I expanded the power, the steam power generation over here. Our new power grid looks something like that. We're having a lot of megawatts available. I researched some new technologies I'm going to get into right away. In a second, we're going to research a few gates. These are just for fortifications. And I researched the military science packs made out of tier 2 ammunition and grenades. So we can produce these now. They need steel plates, firearms, and copper, and the grenades will need some coal. So apart from that, I set up the first... well, here you can see what the main bus will kind of like look one day. Well, that's not really depicted right now. But what I did is I branched off a belt of green circuits, a belt of steel bars, a belt of copper plates, and a belt of iron plates. So what we're going to build today is what people like to call the mall. Basically, when people talk about the mall, they mean, and they talk about the place where you're getting to grab your new stuff to build with. The mall is the area where you build your transport belts, your assembling machines, your miners, your laboratories, your whatever you want to produce automatically will most of the time happen centralized at one spot for the whole factory. Most players tend to play like this. And I personally feel like it's a very nice strategy, and it's good to play that through at least once. And basically, that's why I'm heading over here. We're building something like this, only in a way larger scale. Like right here, we're building a few miners, splitters, and stuff like that. We're going to basically do the same, but in a larger scale. So. Apart from that, let's check out the buffering system. So I already stored a few thousand units of iron ore in here. So my miners, which are not visible right here, are still working, even though the storages are filling up, which is quite good. Yet, as I said a few episodes before, you can not do it. Buffering, I mean. But I'm personally a big fan of buffering because it just... I feel like it fits better into the real demands of a factory to have a surplus of materials when you need them. Okay, so to build the mall, I already grabbed a few dozen assembling machines. We're going to need a lot of inserters. We're going to need a lot of chests. And I will give you mainly some... well, impression is the wrong word. I'm going to do whatever I think I would put up for my mall. Feel free to do your own variations. Feel free to download other people's blueprints for malls, because people are really doing very nifty things. Way more efficient than my stuff. But at this series, I'm going to build pretty much everything myself, because I feel like it's a really useful experience to see how these process chains are set up without getting them blueprinted. So I'm doing here a really basic setup. It's only the stuff we're already building somewhere else. I want these. I really want these. Oh, I don't have iron plates. But luckily I can now absorb whatever I need. So we're going to limit this like that. And I'm going to proceed with this road now like that. And we're going to build underground belts, of course. They consist out of more iron plates and more of these guys. So I'm going to output that like this. And whoop-de-doo. We need power on this. There we go. So we finished the research on the gates. So next up I want to also produce some splitters. These need electronic circuits. I don't have electronic circuits running along here, so we need to change that. I need electronic circuits, transport belts, and iron plates. So I'm going to grab my splitter and we're going to get us some green circuits over here. I'll drop these guys here under the belt, because under the underground belt, into the underground belt. Oh, words. There we go. Gotta do the same thing over here. Or no, actually I want to start it here. And now I have a pretty easy way of getting that stuff over here. Going to let this end here. So, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm not convinced of that. So, for the splitters, I feel like it would be a quite funny thing if I would grab the belts I need from here. So, we have green circuits. And I'm looking up how many inserters they would need here for the green circuits. 3, okay. So I'll just stay with these ones here. And last but not least, of course, the iron plates. So I'm going to let this belt here ultimately wander to this place here. So we're having this input. And now everything comes back together in this little triangle. There we go. For now, this will work out. I'm also limiting the maximum amount of these chests because I don't want to flood my production with a stupendous amount of these things. So actually, it seems like this is the one slot where I really want to have the blue inserter, because I want to have the belts as quick as possible. So this is the first part of my mall. I want to have the red belts as well. These are the tier 2 materials. And as you can see here, they use transport belts, underground belts, and splitters as an ingredient. Basically, all the things I'm producing here are necessary as an ingredient for the tier 2 productions. I built like this. This is very compact. And this way, none of these ingredients are able to be used for the production of these items here, because it's pretty hard to access them. It's already pretty much of a workaround to grab the necessary belts from here. So you have two options when you go for the red technology in the early game, that is, at least. Most of the time I just place these chests somewhere where the assemblers can use that stuff, or you can just set up an entire new chain of pre-production here. I'm going to set up the pre-production separately, because I want to have a clean chain here, and maybe it'll make more sense when I'm showing it to you a little bit more thoroughly. So basically I'm setting up the same thing as I did before. We're going to do these things. So some inserters. And this time there's going to sit this machine right here, and it's going to have this here. You can copy recipes by holding shift, right-clicking on them, and then holding shift and left-clicking on the receiver of the ingredient. It's a very useful function I didn't know about for a while, and you certainly will love it. So there we have it. This little beauty here will produce red belts for me. And there we go. Going to limit that a little bit. And This time we're not going to need further belts as an ingredient like in this process chain. So the red belts are basically not useful by any means. We would need more of these to satisfy our production. So every one of these needs transport belts one way or another. These guys need underground belts, which are consisting out of transport belts, and same goes for the splitters. So this time I'm going to do something else. I'm going to output the rest of the materials I'm overspilling here on a belt, and I'm going to use it for other projects. So we're going to set up the first assembler right here, because we're going to need underground belts to produce the tier 2 underground belts. They need 40 iron gear wheels. Oh my goodness. Oh well, that's why I keep building so many iron gear wheel factories. I'm going to make it like that. Due to the fact you're needing such insane amounts of iron gear wheels, I basically connect every one of these factories with its own iron gear wheel assembler. You could calculate it and find out that I'm wasting a lot of materials here while doing what I'm doing. But honestly, I'm well aware of the overspill, and well, what can I say? It's worth it for me, you know? I just say I make it worth it for me. So here we go, iron plates for this machine. But if you want to optimize this machine more, be my guest. I'm always a friend of I'm always happy when people do it better than me. I just want to show you how it's done. Alright, so this guy is now... The inserter was headed in the wrong direction. So as you can see here, we're way... We're miles away from getting the job done quickly enough. Like this one gear wheel factory is never doing the job quick enough. So, well, I could do the following here. I could do like this. And basically let any overspill that happens in this factory be a benefit to this machine here. I could try that. Let's see if this is necessary or not. So we now have our red underground belts, and last but not least, the fast splitters. We're going to need a new splitter factory to do so. So I'm going to reuse this stuff, and we're getting attacked. My smelters are under attack, so let's run over there. Okay, so yeah. I'm on it. Luckily they're just only chewing at those belts. So let's get this fella away here, and obviously the game wants to tell me that I need repair kits and turrets. So I need to delay my little adventure here. So let's repair that. And I'll need a few gun turrets now. Luckily I have all the materials I could want in my vicinity. I'll just grab a few of these iron plates, and there we go. Going to produce some piercing rounds magazines as well for the turrets here, and I'm going to set up turrets along the border of my smelters, basically. I need to put up a pretty large distance between them, because I don't have the materials to mass produce them yet. But we're going to get there. So I just try to measure. Can't I? Well, no, not Pollution, turret courage. Okay, I can't look at that like this here. So I just try to roughly cover up the area there. So by all means, this is not exact. Okay, so at this part of the game, the biters are not that radical. Like, they are dangerous and everything, and I need to react when they attack, but I don't need to be scared now like crazy. But I should get the ammo production rolling quite soon. So back to the red splitters. I'm going to need iron gear, wheels, electronic circuits, and splitters. So these guys need iron plates and transport belts. So, well, these are... I can't do that. When I do that, this factory doesn't get any iron gear wheels anymore, so that strategy won't work out. Going to produce another standard assembler for these guys here, and I'm going to use the green circuit belt a little bit more, and we're going to trick around a little bit, and this is a very important part. Use your environment creatively. Like, if you can twiddle through stuff like that, like I'm doing it here, more often than not, you can really save materials, save time, and do a lot of other good things for you. I just realized, as a matter of fact, it would be better if this machine would be sitting here. You'll right understand why. So I'll need this one. Oops. And these ones. So we're going to have one input here. Oh well, whatever. Let's do the blue ones. And one input here. And now I can just proceed with this bad boy. He needs electronic circuits and oh well, we're not going like this. We're going to put him down like this. There we go. Yeah, whatever. So, last ingredient will be iron gear wheels, of course. The iron gear wheel of doom. I'm going to place it down like this. Once this place ends, it will all fall down in iron gear wheels. Okay. But apart from that, really, everything is now working out as intended. Now, I need these guys. So handcrafting times will be over soon. And I'll need these guys. And lastly, we're going to produce... Oh, I would really like to put it onto some belts and transport it up there. You know what? We're going to do that, actually, as a matter of fact. So, this is a pure matter of aesthetics and a utter waste of materials, so don't do that at home. But, I need to do this for my own sanity. So please excuse me. Looks weird, I know. But I want the chests that contain these items physically close to each other. Having the chest for the third logistic item here that far away is just something I don't like to do. It's just me. So now I have this little facility which produces the tier 1 things, and this little facility which produces the tier 2 things. This area is now pretty much completed. I produce now everything out of this family. What I want to do next are the inserters, because inserters and belts are basically, well, you need those so much it's insane how much you need them. But before I do anything else, I want to bring up some more handcrafting jobs here in the background, because I really want to get a few turrets running. Okay, so I want to leave a little bit of a room open in the future, so I'm going to not build down here. We're going to head over to this place here. So inserters are pretty easily done. We need iron plates, iron gear wheels, and electronic circuits. Basically the same things we did before. So I'm going to branch off a little bit more here. I do a lot of branch offs from this mainstream, but I'm not putting too much pressure on these side streams for now, because I feel like I want to distribute the weight of the production chain a little bit. So if we look at the inserters, we're needing the usual things. Here it starts to use the yellow inserters in the chain a lot. So we're going to use the yellow inserters as an intermediate product anyway. So here goes my plan. We need another split off from the electronic circuits here, and I want to drop down the turrets I just produced. Give me a sec. Fortifying your base little by little here is a very, very important process, and is once the biters have shown first interest of your base, I personally think it's a wise choice to start setting up your perimeter. You don't need to do much, like one turret with a few clips in it has a really big coverage already on its own. But leaving your smelter columns alone is a pretty bad idea generally. So right now I'm not having the materials to mass produce defenses, and that's why it's so important to me to drop down a few at the borders of this facility. I'm also going to need something for the mall in the future as well, because also the assemblers are producing pollution. Pretty much everything in this game produces pollution, and pollution makes the biters hate these places, and makes them also grow better and more fierce. So they'll also evolve due to the pollution and the aggression you do onto them. Okay, but overall, this is not the worst line of defense, considering that I don't have any military mall right now. So I personally like to divide my mall into 3 basic sectors. Like, the first I'm right now building is logistics. One sector of my mall I like to dedicate solely to inserters, belts, electric poles, whatever, even chests or such. Second slot is for the production facilities, whatever needs to get built there. And third is the military. I really like to divide it like it is divided here in the inventory, because it is quite handy to have some sort of order and clustering. So we're going to build these guys here. Other than the belts, we're also going to need electronic circuits. I already started the little squeeze through here already. We're going to do the same black magic we did before. There we go. So, and there we are. So that's that. Another iron gear wheel assembly machine, but oops, that was not what I wanted. But the iron gear wheel assembler will be, of course, the first part of the chain. So we're having now this. And always keep in mind, this is only one way to do it. Like, there are so many ways of building your mall. It's insane. Do whatever you want to. Really. Do whatever feels great for you. So my plan here now is to create a little run through of the inserters. And we're going to do it like that. And we're going to do it like that. Now I'm starting to produce the other colors of inserters. So here it's the same thing again. We're going to use one iron gear wheel assembler, and little by little we're making progress with all the things we need. So there's going to be that. And I don't know where I'm going to output that stuff for now. So I'm going to need one more facility for the yellow inserters. So these guys will need electronic circuits from there on, and these guys will also need electronic circuits. So this is the last of the iron gear wheels. So. But we're going to need the basic inserter here again, and we're going to need iron plates as well, don't we? Yes, we do. So here we go. That's one. That's two. Well, let's do it like that. And since it's going to be a little bit stressful to pull it off with an own belt, I'm going to show you guys a little nice thing we can do here. So the inserters end up all at this side of the belt, and if I connect the green cards just like that, they'll only fill the lower half of the belt, while they're not touching the upper half of the belt. So this way I'm mixing this belt really simply, while not doing any not creating any problems at all. So last but not least, we're going to set up the filter inserter machine, which is the easiest one of those. It just needs inserters and well, it needs green circuits. Okay, so there we go. And that's that. The only thing lacking right now is the output, but that's no problem. I'm going to use a filter inserter here because it feels like quite fitting, and we're going to use these guys here as well. So, oh, out of iron plates already. Okay. So we're going to do these guys here, these guys there, and these guys there. And, well, obviously these guys here. Okay. So I'm going to use a filter inserter here, and I'm going to allow him on the whitelist only to use, only to grab yellow inserters. So this machine here will doing its output towards this square. Oh, I forgot to do an input here. There we go. Same procedures apply here. So this way, you see, I have in one line a complete array of all the inserters you could possibly want. And down here, I have an array of all the logistic items you could possibly want for the beginning of the game. So we're going to build a few more things now, just to complete the thing. We're going to build now a few electric poles and the chests. So this is what I consider the logistics part of this mall. So with the steel, I haven't used it at all. so far. So I want to produce the chests like over here. This means I'm going to use the splitter I'm going to splitter here at this height. Yeah, there we go. So one really big advantage of the red underground belts is they're having a max length of 7, while these only have a max length of 5. So you can really cover up longer distances with these, which is a very, very useful thing. Probably going to use it here. Maybe not. So here I want to, or no, I don't need to. So here goes the steel we need. And, well, iron chests, there's nothing really to... This is probably the most simple of all chest recipes, but we're going to need it anyway, so there we go. Here go the simple things. So, there we go. But at the same time, these are very, very important. Having these little things available. Oh, I forgot the pipes. Of course, silly me. So of course we need pipes as well. But luckily pipes are very, very easily done. So what I really like to do for pipes is this kind of setup. So we're going to make one of these, one of those, one of those. So pipes only need iron plates, so that's what makes them quite easy to handle. Oops. So we're already using it, so that's really good, isn't it? I also need a few chests. So there we go. Also limiting those. Oh, well. So this way, the pipe to ground machine gets a own assembler just for its own pipes, because this recipe needs 10 units of pipe. That's quite a stress for that machine. Okay, last but not least, we're going to need the electric poles. These are the first machines using copper plates, so we're going to need a few of those as well. I'm going to underground belt here and splitter there, or no, actually this was again not where I wanted. This is where I want to splitter. It was actually stupid. Whatever. It's not stupid as long as it's still working. This is a moment for the red belt to shine. You can combine red and yellow parts without problems. Okay, so these guys need steel plates, copper plates, and iron sticks. So iron sticks are a intermediate product. We're going to need a lot of those, so I'm going to make it like this. Well, yeah, we're going to make it like this. And apart from that, here runs the steel. No, we're going to make it like this. Okay. Since both of these recipes don't need iron in its pure form, only as the refined iron stick, I'm going to use this to feed this array like that. You could also mix the belts if you would prefer to, but well, I didn't want to. I just didn't want to. I just need to take care of the fact that I need to leave some space for the outputs, because if I don't do, I won't be having any room to produce to. Alright, so there we go. Let's do that, and that, and that. So this is what I consider the first part of my mall. The first part mainly because we're now not having any production facilities or military facilities, but this is a pretty solid start. This little corner of the factory now produces everything I need when it comes down to logistics. And that's pretty much where we're going to end this episode. This is going to be the mall part 1. No blueprints, everything handcrafted. You should be able to understand now how every part here works. If there are any questions open, or if you want to have a certain topic covered, feel free to drop this into the comments below. Apart from that, always leave me comments whenever you want to tell me something. I'm open for your input. Apart from that, I would deeply appreciate any sort of likes on this videos, shares with your friends, or even subscriptions to this channel if you want to really support this work. Do whatever feels great for you. I just hope you're coming back for the next episode where we're going to expand the mall even further. So production mall will be the next topic. And yeah, see you guys then. Bye-bye.